Okay, guys, we are back. We are now going to shoot Daniel's Super Bowl knowledge test. We have just watched the conclusion of Super Bowl 58.
Yes, sir.
The Chiefs knocked off the 49ers in overtime. And yeah, so now we have 58.
1 through 58.
1 through 58. So this will be in random order. I will show my computer screen in the corner, and we are going to randomize a list to prove Dan's skills even more, and to also prove that we're not reading a list. We don't have a script.
We're not trolling.
And I have a document up on the left that shows each result to show that if he is right or not. Are you ready, Dan?
I am ready. Let's go.
Okay, I'm going to randomize a list. Here we go. Okay, my list has been randomized, Dan. To start, Super Bowl 6.
Super Bowl 6, that was the Dallas Cowboys and the Miami Dolphins. The score was 24-3 Cowboys. MVP was Roger Staubach. And it was played in New Orleans, and it was Tulane Stadium.
That is correct, Dan. Super Bowl number 3.
Super Bowl 3, it was the New York Jets and the Baltimore Colts. The Jets won 16-7. Joe Namath, who guaranteed the victory, was the MVP, and it was played in the Miami Orange Bowl.
That's Super Bowl 58. Hey now.
Hey, wait a minute. We just watched this.
Mm-hmm.
This is a no-brainer. Kansas City 49ers. And it went into overtime. Kansas City beat San Francisco 25-22 in overtime. The second ever Super Bowl to go in overtime. Patrick Mahomes ended up winning the MVP. And, of course, it was played in Viva Las Vegas, Legion Stadium.
That is correct. Alrighty, next Super Bowl, number 12. Super Bowl 12.
Super Bowl 12, that was the Dallas Cowboys and the Denver Broncos. The Cowboys won that one 27-10. The MVP, it was co-MVP. Randy White and Harvey Martin, two of the Cowboys' defensive linemen. And it was played in the Superdome in New Orleans.
That is correct. Super Bowl 19.
Super Bowl 19, that was the San Francisco 49ers and the Miami Dolphins. The 49ers won 38-16. MVP was Joe Montana. Played at Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto.
That is correct. Super Bowl number 38.
Super Bowl 38 was the New England Patriots against the Carolina Panthers. The Patriots won 32-29 with Adam Vinatieri field goal that sealed it. The MVP was Tom Brady, and it was played in Reliant Stadium in Houston, Texas.
That is correct. Super Bowl number 49.
Oh, God. I witnessed that one. It was the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots ended up winning the frickin' football game 28-24. Malcolm Butler with the interception. Oh, my God. Brings up bad memories. And Tom Brady was the MVP. Played at University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale. I was at that game. I witnessed it. I can't believe we threw the ball at the 1-yard line on that one.
I'm sorry, man. I hate to bring it up.
Unbelievable.
Okay, moving on. Super Bowl 18.
Super Bowl 18 was the Los Angeles Raiders and the Washington Redskins. This was no contest. This was a blowout. And the Raiders ended up winning 38-9. MVP was Marcus Allen. Clinched it on a 74-yard touchdown run, and it was played at Tampa Stadium in Tampa, Florida.
That's correct. Moving on, Super Bowl 29.
Super Bowl 29 was the San Francisco 49ers against the San Diego Chargers. 49-26 was the final score. 49ers won. MVP was Steve Young. He threw 6 TD passes, which is still a record for most passes by a quarterback. And it was played at Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami, Florida.
That is correct. Super Bowl 40.
Oh, another heartbreaker. Another Seahawk heartbreaker. Steelers, Seahawks. Steelers won 21-10. The Steelers paid the referees in that one a big amount of money. And the MVP was Hines Ward. He's played at Ford Field in Detroit.
That's correct. Super Bowl 55.
55. Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Kansas City Chiefs. 31-9 was the score. Tampa Bay, another no contester. MVP was Tom Brady. And Raymond James Stadium, the home team, won in their own home stadium.
That's right. Super Bowl 56. Moving on to the very next one.
56, that was another home team stadium that won. The Rams played the Bengals, and the Rams won 23-20. Cooper Kupp, who caught the game-winning touchdown, was the MVP. I already said it, was played in SoFi Stadium. The Rams ended up winning.
That's right. Back-to-back teams, like you said, with home field advantage in the Super Bowl. Hey, moving on. Super Bowl 53.
53, it was the New England Patriots, Los Angeles Rams. One of the worst Super Bowls ever in the last 10 years almost. It was 13-3, Patriots won. Julian Edelman was the MVP. It was played at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta.
That's correct. Moving on, Super Bowl 20.
Super Bowl 20 was the Chicago Bears against the New England Patriots. No contest in this one. The 85 Bears ended up winning 46-10 over the Patriots. Richard Dent, MVP, played in the Superdome in New Orleans.
Again, correct.
Super Bowl shuffle.
Moving on, Super Bowl number 1.
Super Bowl 1, the very first Super Bowl ever, was the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs. Green Bay won 35-10. MVP was Bart Starr, the quarterback of the Packers. It was played in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum.
That is correct. Moving on, Super Bowl 21.
Super Bowl 21, New York Giants, Denver Broncos, 39-20 Giants. MVP was Phil Simms, played in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
That's right, a place you've been.
Yeah, I've been there.
Moving on, Super Bowl 54.
Super Bowl 54 was Kansas City Chiefs, San Francisco 49ers, who we just saw tonight. Kansas City won that one 31-20. And Mahomes was the MVP. And that one was played at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami.
That is correct.
So many Miami Stadium
I
names.
know. So many to keep up with, and you know them.
Yeah.
Super Bowl 50.
Oh, another one that was a bad Super Bowl. Denver Broncos, Carolina Panthers. We were talking about this one tonight. Denver ended up winning 24-10. Von Miller was the MVP, and it was played at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara.
Correct. Super Bowl 42.
Super Bowl 42 was a classic game. The New York Giants and the New England Patriots. The Patriots were undefeated, 18-0 going into the game. The Giants knocked them off 17-14 with the helmet catch from David Tyree. The MVP was Eli Manning, and it was played in University of Phoenix Stadium in Glendale.
That's correct. Another place you've been to.
Yep.
Moving on. Super Bowl 35.
Super Bowl 35 was the Baltimore Ravens, New York Giants. Ravens won 34-7. The MVP was Ray Lewis. Played at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa.
That is correct. Super Bowl 25.
Super Bowl 25 was the New York Giants and the Buffalo Bills. 20-19 Giants. Bills kicker Scott Norwood, wide right, 47-yard field goal. MVP was Otis Anderson. His nickname was OJ. And Tampa Stadium in Tampa.
That is correct. Super Bowl 44.
Super Bowl 44, New Orleans Saints against the Indianapolis Colts. The Saints won 31-17. MVP, I'm wearing his jersey, Drew Brees. Played at Sun Life Stadium in Miami.
Another random name for Miami. You got it.
Too many Miami
You got
names.
it. Okay, Super Bowl 8.
Super Bowl 8, Miami Dolphins, Minnesota Vikings. Dolphins won 24-7. MVP was Larry Zonka. The stadium was in Houston, and it was at University of Rice.
That is correct. Shout out to Frank the Tank on that one. Larry
Zonka.
Zonka. Moving on. Super Bowl 33.
Super Bowl 33, Denver Broncos, Atlanta Falcons. The Denver Broncos won 34-19. MVP was John Elway playing in his final game, and it was played in Miami. Pro player.
You got it. Another different Miami stadium name. They can't keep up their mind.
Nope.
Okay, moving on. Super Bowl 16.
Super Bowl 16 was the San Francisco 49ers against the Cincinnati Bengals. 26-21, San Fran. It was Joe Montana, the MVP. Played at the Pontiac Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan.
That is correct.
Excuse me.
Super Bowl 4.
Super Bowl 4 was the Kansas City Chiefs and the Minnesota Vikings. Kansas City ended up winning 23-7. The MVP was Len Dawson, quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. And it was played, wasn't the Superdome, but it was in New Orleans. It was Tulane Stadium.
That is correct. Super Bowl 11.
Super Bowl 11 was the Oakland Raiders and the Minnesota Vikings. Raiders won 32-14. And the MVP was Fred Biletnikoff, wide receiver. And it was played in the Rose Bowl.
That is correct. Super Bowl 15.
Super Bowl 15. Oakland Raiders. Philadelphia Eagles. Raiders won 27-10. MVP was Jim Plunkett, Superdome in New Orleans.
Correct. Super Bowl 45.
45 was Green Bay Packers, Pittsburgh Steelers. Green Bay won that one 31-25. And it was played at AT&T Stadium, Arlington, Texas. MVP, Aaron Rodgers. Boo! Boo!
He loves that stadium, man.
Yep.
Moving on. Super Bowl number. Let me see. Where are we at? Where are we at? Super Bowl number 7.
Super Bowl 7 was the Miami Dolphins, Washington Redskins. Dolphins won 14-7. The Dolphins completed an entire season going undefeated. And Jake Scott was the MVP, and it was played in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum.
That is correct. Super Bowl 47.
47 was the Baltimore Ravens, San Francisco 49ers. Ravens won 34-31. MVP was Joe Flacco, quarterback of the Ravens. Superdome in New Orleans. The power went out during that game.
That's right. Correct. Super Bowl 57.
Super Bowl 57 was the Kansas City Chiefs, Philadelphia Eagles, the Kelsey Bowl. It was Kansas City 38, Philadelphia 35. Mahomes won the MVP. Glendale, it was State Farm Stadium.
Correct. Super Bowl 24.
Super Bowl 24, the most lopsided win in Super Bowl history. San Francisco 49ers against the Denver Broncos. Niners won 55-10. Joe Montana was the MVP, and it was in the Superdome in New Orleans.
That's correct. Super Bowl 2.
Super Bowl 2 was the Green Bay Packers and the Oakland Raiders. Green Bay won 33-14. Bart Starr MVP, quarterback of the Packers. Orange Bowl in Miami.
That is correct. Moving on. Super Bowl 23.
Super Bowl 23 was the San Francisco 49ers, Cincinnati Bengals. 49ers won 20-16. They had to go 92 yards for the game-winning touchdown. Jerry Rice was the MVP, and it was at Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami.
That is correct. Super Bowl 48.
Yes, let's
Hey.
go. Let's go. Super Bowl 48 was Seattle Seahawks against the Denver Broncos. 43-8 Seahawks. Malcolm Smith MVP. MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Correct. A memorable Super Bowl for you.
Let's go.
Moving on. Super Bowl number 10.
Super Bowl 10 was the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Dallas Cowboys. Pittsburgh Steelers won 21-17. The Lynn Swann MVP receiver. Orange Bowl in Miami.
Spot on. And then the Super Bowl right before that. Super Bowl 9.
Super Bowl 9 was the Pittsburgh Steelers, Minnesota Vikings. 16-6. Steelers won. Franco Harris MVP. Tulane Stadium in New Orleans.
That is correct. Super Bowl 37.
Super Bowl 37 was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Oakland Raiders. They moved back to Oakland. And the Buccaneers won that one 48-21. MVP was Dexter Jackson, safety. And it was played at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego, California.
That is correct. Super Bowl 31.
Super Bowl 31 was Green Bay Packers, New England Patriots. Packers won 35-21. MVP was Desmond Howard, the only special team player to win a Super Bowl MVP. Superdome in New Orleans.
Correct. Moving on. Super Bowl 27.
Super Bowl 27 was the Dallas Cowboys against the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo ended up losing this one 52-17. MVP was Troy Aikman. Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
Correct. Super Bowl 5.
Super Bowl 5 was the Baltimore Colts and the Dallas Cowboys. The Colts won 16-13. The MVP, and I'm going to give you a fun fact here, it was the losing team, the Cowboys linebacker Chuck Howley.
That is correct. Moving on. Super Bowl 22.
22 was the Washington Redskins, Denver Broncos. 42-10 Redskins. Doug Williams, the MVP. Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego.
That is correct. Super Bowl 52.
Super Bowl 52 was the Philadelphia Eagles, New England Patriots. The Philadelphia Eagles won that Super Bowl 41-33. Nick Foles was the MVP. It was U.S. Bank Stadium in Minnesota,
That
Minneapolis.
is correct. Yes. 28. Super Bowl 28.
28 was a rematch of 27, the Cowboys and the Bills. 30-13, Cowboys. Emmitt Smith, the MVP, who I've met before, and it was in the Georgia Dome in Atlanta.
That is spot on. Correct, Daniel. Super Bowl 43.
Super Bowl 43 was a classic. Pittsburgh Steelers, Arizona Cardinals. Steelers won 27-23. Santonio Holmes, who caught the game-winning touchdown, one of the greatest plays in Super Bowl history, greatest catch. He was the MVP of the game. And it was played, that Super Bowl was Raymond James in Tampa.
Correct. Super Bowl 26.
Super Bowl 26, another downfall for the Buffalo Bills. Redskins beat them 37-24. MVP was Mark Rippon, quarterback. Metrodome in Minneapolis.
That is correct again, Dan. Moving on. Super Bowl 46.
Super Bowl 46, New York Giants, New England Patriots. The Giants, that was 21-17. MVP was Eli Manning. It was played in Lucas Oil in Indianapolis.
That is correct. Super Bowl 32.
32 was the Denver Broncos, Green Bay Packers. Broncos won 31-24. Terrell Davis, MVP. It was played in Qualcomm in San Diego.
That is correct. Super Bowl 14.
Super Bowl 14 was the Pittsburgh Steelers, Los Angeles Rams. Steelers won 31-19. MVP was Terry Bradshaw, and it was played in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena.
That is correct. Super Bowl 17.
Super Bowl 17 was the Washington Redskins against the Miami Dolphins. 27-17 Redskins. John Riggins, Super Bowl MVP, who scored the clinching touchdown on 4th and 1, and it was played in the Rose Bowl.
That is correct again. Super Bowl 30.
Super Bowl 30 was Cowboys Steelers. Cowboys won 27-17. Larry Brown, MVP, cornerback, picked off 2 passes from Neil O'Donnell. And that was the first ever Super Bowl that was played in Arizona. It was in Tempe at Sun Devil Stadium.
That is correct, Dan. Super Bowl 41.
Super Bowl 41, Indianapolis Colts, Chicago Bears. Indianapolis won 29-17. MVP was Peyton Manning. It was played in Miami, Dolphins Stadium.
Bingo. Got it. Alrighty, moving on. We're at the final stretch. Super Bowl 51.
Super Bowl 51 was the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons. 34-28 New England in overtime. And let's see, Tom Brady MVP.
Correct.
And it was played at that Super Bowl was NRG in Houston.
Spot on, Dan. Alrighty, 4 left. Super Bowl 34.
Super Bowl 34. The Rams, who were in St. Louis at the time, Tennessee Titans, and the Rams won 23-16. The Titans had the ball and got tackled at the 1-yard line. Kevin Dyson got tackled by Mike Jones. The MVP was Kurt Warner, quarterback of the Rams, Georgia Dome in Atlanta.
Correct. Super Bowl 39.
Super Bowl 39 was the New England Patriots, Philadelphia Eagles, 24-21 New England. Deion Branch, the MVP, was played in Jacksonville at Autel Stadium.
That is correct. 2 more, Dan. Super Bowl 13.
Super Bowl 13 was the Pittsburgh Steelers, Dallas Cowboys. Steelers won 35-31. Excuse me. MVP was Terry Bradshaw, Orange Bowl in Miami.
Bingo. And the last Super Bowl. Super Bowl 36.
36 was the New England Patriots, St. Louis Rams, Tom Brady's first ever Super Bowl, 20-17 on a Vinatieri game-winning field goal. Brady was the MVP. It was played in the Superdome in New Orleans.
Bingo. Woo!
Let's go.
100%. Look at that, dude. High five, man. Give me some.
Let's go.
Give me some. You guys don't realize how impressive that was, what he just did right there. Off the dome.
This has been all throughout my years of just studying football and watching the game and just looking up all the Super Bowl references through all those years and knowing all those Super Bowls and even going to a Super Bowl. I mean, it's just incredible. And a lot of people, it's like they do it with me and it's like game over.
Mm-hmm.
They don't even want to ask. I mean, they want to continue asking questions, but it's like they know right away, whoever quizzes me, that I'm going to get 100% every time.
And they know that means you know ball
Yep.
when it comes to sports.
Yep.
You know? So, we just finished Super Bowl 58, another great NFL season. Hey, now it's baseball season, isn't it?
Baseball season, basketball for March Madness. You know, we're going to be hitting it off.
That's right. Well, we're glad it was another great football season, and we hope you guys enjoyed Dan's Super Bowl skills that he just showcased. I know I was impressed, and I hope you guys were too. Dan, any final words?
Stay tuned to our podcast. You guys are going to be amazed by the Super Bowl trivia in this one. Stay tuned, subscribe. We love you guys. Thank you.
Alrighty, see you guys.